Actually, that's to say emeritus, Professor Emeritus.
It's obviously very important that we save the planet, but also that I look fit.
Hi, I'm Bill McGuire, and I'm Professor Emeritus of Geophysical and Climate Hazards at University College London.
Hi, I'm Kiri Pritchard-McLean, comedian, and I did go to university, but only because I'd run out of people to get off with in my village.
Most of us by now are aware we're facing a climate crisis, but perhaps not the full scale and urgency of it. Over the last 200 years, the global average temperature has risen by roughly 1.3 degrees centigrade, which sounds relatively modest, but is already leading to an explosion of extreme weather events.
Quick translation, 1.3 degrees may sound like fuck all, but in practice, half the world is flooded and the other half is a bonfire. And it's still early days.
Officially, the plan is to stay under 1.5 degrees. This means we must cut greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2030, but currently they're rising, not falling. So we're heading for 2 degrees at least, and possibly 4, if not more.
So we're meant to go here, what I call down. But we're going here, what I call up.
We are understating some major potential risks and tipping points.
Even the crazy predictions probably aren't crazy enough. You thought it was bad. Well, it's a lot worse than that.
Parts of the world, for example, will experience combinations of high temperature and humidity so severe that sweating becomes impossible, the body overheats, and you die within 6 hours or so. Such conditions have already been recorded way ahead of projections, and they could force hundreds of millions of people to migrate to survive.
It's going to get so hot that many human beings will basically cook alive. And if you don't want to cook alive, you'll want to migrate, which won't cause any problems because the world is very welcoming of migrants, especially hundreds of millions of them.
There are up to 1.4 trillion tonnes of methane, a supercharged greenhouse gas, locked up beneath seabed permafrost in Siberia. It's now thawing rapidly and the methane is leaking out in ever greater quantities. If this process reaches a tipping point, huge volumes of the gas could explode into the atmosphere, radically speeding up global heating.
Evil gas is literally exploding out of the ground in Siberia. I'm no David Attenborough, but that shit's not right, is it?
A major potential tipping point is the Gulf Stream, which keeps the UK and Northern Europe much warmer than they would otherwise be. The current is now almost completely unstable and could shut down with little warning. This would cause dramatic cooling across the UK and Europe.
Feels to me like the Gulf Stream is quite an important bit of plumbing of our planet and oceans. Should we really be fucking with it? Personally, I would say not.
We can still stop a bad situation getting worse by slashing greenhouse gas emissions now. This can't be achieved just by individual action, like recycling. We need governments to step in to stop subsidising fossil fuels, to ban all new exploration and production, and plan to actually phase them out. They can largely be replaced by scaled-up wind, tidal, wave and solar power, which are now much cheaper anyway.
We don't add cocaine to fizzy drinks or build nursery schools out of asbestos anymore, because that's wrong.
The big oil and gas companies make huge profits, which gets them in the room with politicians behind our backs. More than 600 fossil fuel lobbyists attended the last COP climate conference, and the president of the next one is actually the head of an oil company.
There's still trillions of dollars of oil in the ground, and they plan to dig it all up, even if it screws up planet Earth for the rest of us. Zero corporate fucks given.
We need to force our governments to push back against the fossil fuel lobby. It's up to you how you do it. Take your kids to see your MP, join a local movement, join a protest. Governments will only do the right thing when they see millions of voters on the streets.
I would prefer to do fuck all, and I'm very good at it. But doing fuck all is scientifically proven not to work. So why not decide to do something and kick up some sort of almighty fuss before it's too late? So, Bill, did you like my translation?
I thought it was absolutely fantastic, actually. I mean, we need to tackle the climate issue from every angle, and I think comedy's got a massive role to play. One of the problems for many people, I think, is they don't realise how bad things are, and they don't realise how bad things are going to get.
Marks out of 10, how bad is it?
It's about as bad as you can get.
Have we still got time to fix it?
We can't avoid dangerous climate change now. It's going to hit us. But that makes it even more important that we act, that we slash emissions as quickly as possible to stop dangerous becoming cataclysmic. Governments need to take the lead here, and we need to force them to do that. So we need to be out on the streets in much greater numbers than we are now to get governments to act.